In this edition of Strategic Rap Intelligence, I talk about a video on YouTube titled Compton Bloods Pirus. C-O-M-P-T-O-N, next word Bloods, B-L-O-O-D-S, next word Pirus, P-I-R-U-S. Compton Bloods Pirus. The video was posted approximately 3 years ago by Thias Vids, and all of the comments for the video are disabled. What I want to talk about specifically in regard to this video are the contradictions of so-called reputed gang members. These individuals who claim to be part of these historic gang neighborhoods are often themselves mistaken and ambiguous. I can prove this. It's very easy to do so. As you can see from my profile, I am originally from the West Coast, and I am from one of these neighborhoods. Now, what I would like to point out is that if you watch the video, you'll notice that this one particular individual says that he wears burgundy because that's what Pirus wear. Pirus wear burgundy. This is true. Pirus also wear red. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, what exactly do you mean by that? Because I know a little bit about this neighborhood, and this guy says one thing, but you're saying another thing. Well, I'm from the West Coast. Check my profile, watch my videos, and what you'll notice is that we come from a Piru neighborhood as well. This guy is part of one particular Piru set. You have people in other parts of the United States of America who will watch this video and they'll just believe everything that this guy says. And this sets a dangerous precedence for many reasons. One, if you're a kid in some country outside the United States of America and you're watching this video, you might be impressionable and you might not have the mature mindset in which to understand that what this guy's telling you is just one point of view. You might just go ahead and believe everything that this guy is saying, and you might be a wannabe gang member yourself. And you might go around your neighborhood in some overseas country claiming that you're a Piru blood, adhering to the different philosophies and different belief systems of this person that's telling you this in this video, that Pirus only wear burgundy. Now, another thing that I want to point out about this particular video is an obvious contradiction that I've observed, in that this individual, he's wearing red shoelaces. Now, if he were so dedicated to Piru, which he clearly is, don't you think that there would be a strict code of conduct in that he would be able to get some burgundy shoelaces and not some red shoelaces? He's wearing red shoelaces. He's wearing red shoelaces, yet he goes on to say the Piru doesn't wear red. This is untrue. This is untrue. Maybe his particular unit, maybe his particular neighborhood, maybe his particular set, but it's exclusive to his organization there in that particular community. Because what you find outside his zone, his jurisdiction, his set, his area, his village, his parish, his sector, however you want to frame it. If you go outside his neighborhood, there are other neighborhoods. And there are veterans in other neighborhoods who say differently than he. And that's very clear. There are others who are Piru who say that Piru, yes, wear burgundy in some instances, and originally did, obviously, of course, that's the true history. But nowadays, in the 21st century, things are different. There's not one Piru I know in the United States of America who does not associate with blood sets. Pirus are interrelated with bloods. Pirus, Damus, bloods, it's all blood culture however you look at it. This man, this young man in this neighborhood, he has some people in the United States and overseas believing these things that he's told you, which are not entirely true. Now, someone mentioned that in California, a lot of these guys are high. They're smoking weed, they're on drugs, they're drinking alcohol around the clock, and they can't even remember what they ate 2 days ago. Do you remember what you ate 2 days ago for lunch? Some people, most people, a majority of people gotta think. They gotta remember, what did I eat for lunch 2 days ago? It's very difficult for most humans to even remember that. Okay, now, some of these guys, they meet these women at the clubs, and they're like, yeah, what was her name? They don't even remember this woman's name. This guy, this young man, how does he know what happened 30 years ago to the day? He doesn't know. There are a lot of people from these different neighborhoods who lead these neighborhoods, and they have stripes just like he might have. Higher stripes even. More stripes. They're more credible. More reliable. They have a better reputation. And they go on and they set up networks in other states, in other jurisdictions, in other sectors throughout the United States. That's what they do. That's the history. You can't tell me that there are Compton Bloods who are not in other parts of the United States other than California. There are Compton Bloods in other parts of California other than this guy's neighborhood, because Compton is a huge part of California for Bloods. It's a big blood sector. So you've got Bloods in other parts of the United States of America who come from this particular gang set. They migrated from this guy's neighborhood and other surrounding neighborhoods, and they moved on to places like Washington State, which in relative terms is just right down the street. Get on Interstate 5, I-5, and you go north. I'm from the West Coast. I'm from that part of the United States of America. And I know how all these things are structured. You got a lot of these new jacks, a lot of these young bloods, a lot of these kids that are high and drunk, and they don't know the true history of their own organization. There are people from this guy's organization who moved on and did bigger and better things, went on to greener pastures, and they set up organizations and sub-organizations in different parts of the United States of America, and their history is just as much real as the history of this guy's neighborhood today, as it is today. So when this guy tells you, oh yeah, Bloods wear, Pirus wear, when this guy tells you Pirus wear burgundy, on one hand, he's correct. On the other hand, he clearly contradicts himself, because listen to him, listen to his crew, listen to their set. They're saying blood this, blood that, blood, 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 blood. It doesn't stop, man. It's just blood this and blood that. But then he's saying that they're not Bloods, that they're Pirus. I know plenty of Pirus, and they say blood all day, every day. I know plenty of Pirus, and they wear red all day, every day, just like this dude's wearing red shoelaces. If you're down with such a cold organization, and like I said earlier, such a strict organization, and all your codes and all these things that you say that you stand by, what they are, then why are you wearing red shoelaces? Wouldn't you be in violation? Oh, but you can just overlook that on that particular day for that particular video. Look, man, that should just be one indicator right there that what dude's telling you isn't true. And here's the other thing. Like I said, man, they're talking about blood this, blood that, blood this, blood that, blood, 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 blood. Everything that's almost coming out of their mouths is blood, blood, blood. But they ain't Bloods. Come on, man, that don't even sound real. And don't even be impressed by all these weapons that you see these dudes have. I know places on the West Coast where you can go and there's 10 times as many weapons. And secondly, look, man, you got your guns out there for the FBI, ATF, Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, Secret Service, U.S. government organizations, agencies you don't even know about, that aren't even listed in the directory of open source information. They're sitting there watching these guys. The little kid come up over the back fence. You can see him in part of the video and whatnot, wearing red. You know what I'm talking about? Or whatever. And, you know what I'm saying? What is that, the little sniper? I mean, okay, whatever. But I mean, you know what I'm saying? They tell you where their block ends. And they say, yeah, we be having fun with these dudes down here. Sometimes we got shootouts and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? They show you where they are. And they show you the kind of weapons that they got. But like I said, man, I know where you can go. And there's 100 times more weapons than these guys got, man. If you're some kid on the internet and you're seeing this, don't be impressed by these little tiny weapons that these dudes have. Little Tech 9, you know what I'm saying? Little AK-47. Where I come from, you get an AK-47 for free if you know the right people. It's just like, hey, homie, here you go, man. Here go the AK. Just hold the block down. You know what I'm saying? AK shouldn't cost you more than $50 on the black market. You know what I'm talking about? So, like I'm saying, man, it's like they're talking blood this, blood that. But then they turn around and say that they're not Bloods, that they're Pirus. Come on, man. Bloods are Pirus. Pirus are Bloods. You know what I'm saying? Piru had its own thing going on for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Back in the old days. And yeah, they had their history there. But in the 21st century, man, it's all blood culture. You know it is. And you can clearly see the contradictions in this video. I'm not hating on dude. I'm just telling it how it is. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm 34 years old. You know what I'm saying? How old is this cat? You know what I'm saying? Does he even know what was going on 30 years ago? Alright, so, look, man, he got caught in the act wearing the red shoelaces. He's talking about he's not a Blood, but it's blood, 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 blood coming out of his mouth, coming out of the mouths of his homies. They're obviously Bloods. Piru's obviously a Blood set. It's obviously Blood affiliated. It obviously has something to do with Bloods, and they're obviously Bloods. However you want to fucking look at it. And, man, I'm a gang expert. You know what I'm saying? I've worked for the U.S. government. I've got my stripes on both the streets and in academia at the university level. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'll give you another example. In Chicago, they got these organizations. One particular organization, 4CH, Four Corner Hustler, they wanted to do their own thing, so they broke apart. So now 4CH has its own nation. You know what I mean? Some people recognize it, some people don't. It's the same thing as Piru. Piru's trying to go back to its roots and say, oh, we're Piru, we got our own thing going on. Come on, man, been there, done that. You know what I'm saying? My homies are Pirus. You know what I'm saying? Man, you don't even know if you're on the internet and you're watching this shit and you think just because you see like 2-point-something million hits on this guy's video, look, they disabled the comments so you can't say anything because the dude contradicts himself. And then if you go to say, hey, man, what you mean? What you mean Piru's not Blood? You're talking about blood, 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 blood. You know what I'm saying? Shouldn't you be like Piru everything out of your mouth? Piru, Piru, roo. No, man, you talking about blood, but then you say on the other hand that you ain't blood. Come on, man, that don't make any sense.